Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing on this January the 21st, 2025 daily cryptocurrency, XRP, and blockchain technology video, where you've come for a once-a-day industry exclusive uh, cryptocurrency video every day with the valuable information that you've come, expect, love, and deserve. And that's why you comment down below, like the channel, subscribe, and share. J. And if you would like to trade with old Vincenzo, go down to the video description below and you can trade on the same sites old Vincenzo does, which is, get out of there, is that, which the sites old Vincenzo trades on. Of course, whatever that is going to come up and not let me get rid of it. Robinhood is in the video description or the pinned comment below, and Coinbase are the two trading sites that I use to trade here in the United States, and I'm sure they're available across the various other countries, which we have people watching us because they comment where they're from. And if you would like to support the channel, you can always become members of Jabroni Killers for $2.99 a month. It is the cheapest and easiest way to support the channel and the best value anywhere on YouTube, and I implore you and dare you to find a better value. And we're going to start off our super chat to support the channel. And as always, comment the coins that you would like to see me cover, and I will put them in on a very steady rotation. And we're looking at an XRP right now in the daily time frame. Is we're gonna again, the moving averages are continuing to trend up. We're all the way up here at $2.40 in the 50-day. We're all the way, get off that. We're all the way up here at about $1.92 in the 100-day, and the long-term moving average. We've trickled up now all the way to $1.42. And if you look at what's going on here, we're consolidating above the all-time high. We're attempting to break through the all-time high and get rid of these because we really don't need those. We're attempting to break through the old all-time high and come up to our next target of $4.71. And right now we're consolidating, and you could be looking at this as a bull flag right here. And that's where you would get that technical target up there at $4.71, similar to what this did in the shorter time frame right here with a miniature breakout. And then we had the consolidation and then the next move to the upside. And we could just be looking at another consolidation until we move up to the next overhead target of $4.71. And then, yes, even though it doesn't seem like it's possible, $12.30 are possible in an extreme blow off top. And those are some things that we're looking at on any kind of correction now. The $2.48, just about where the moving average is now. So we can actually take this and move it sort of out over here because we don't want those two sitting at the same area, gets clustered. But the $2.40, the moving average of the 50-day, which we haven't hit since back in November, the $2.47 was a major support and resistance zone here. And then it got rejected before the breakout. So in any kind of pump to the downside, that is your most logical major underneath support now is $2.47. And then you would have the moving averages of $1.92 would be a major support level if it did come back down at any point in time that far. If we look into the hour time frame, you can see we're trading sideways, and that's why you could see this as sort of a bull flag here where you had the big pump and then the down and sideways consolidation, which is a healthy bullish consolidation. And that's why we do have the $4.71 as our next major target to the upside. But we're going to continue to watch this in the old XRP. We'll go to AMP next. If you look at XLM, we're sitting here at the 43 cents, and that's a critical level at the 43 cents. Because if you do break the 43 cents, you would become short to medium term bearish again. But as long as you're above that, you're short to medium term bullish. And the moving averages, again, are something that we're going to watch. But unlike XRP, they did actually come down for the first time since November and hit the 50-day moving average a couple of times. The 100 days at 34 cents now, and the 200 days at about 26 cents. They're not rising as fast because the price is stagnating sideways for the most part ever since that 63 cent blow off top regionally and locally. 80 cents is your next major move. But if this is a bull flag right here that we're in, and we go to the point of a breakout, your next major upside target would be all the way up here at about $3.42, and that's absolutely something that we're watching out for in the more long-term time. The short-term time frame, we're looking at an 80 cent first initial pump near the all-time high. But if we breach this 43 cents, then we might have to become short to medium-term bearish, as we could come down and retest some of these lower moving averages. But we're still on top of the 43 cents, so it's still bullish in the short term, and we'll continue to watch that with XLM. If we look at AMP is consolidating again after it had a nice little return rally right here of about 30 to 40% after a big correction, after its big pump up back in early December. We're watching out for AMP to hold these short-term moving averages at 00686, which is the 100-day moving average right there in the middle between the 200-day in green and the 50-day, which it's in the daily time frame sitting on. If you break below that, you're looking to go to 00540 as major underneath support. But on the breakout, I still do expect here sometime into the medium term future a price pump up. God, a price pump up to 2 1/3 cent. Oh my God, of course. I never get any of this garbage until I want to make videos. Or a price pump all the way up to 7 cents, which I still do believe is going to happen between 3 cents and 7 cents. I do believe we're going to get a massive pump at some point into this range up here and maybe even eventually bust out of that. I'm still very bullish in the long term with AMP. You just have to be more patient with AMP. HBAR, I think somebody asked about this. We're sitting at major consolidation level where if you do come down and don't hold the moving averages, you're going to come down to about 9 cents. But if you do pump up out of some, what you could say is a clone, uh, some kind of stagnated flagpole, nearly $2.25 would be a major upper resistance. The same thing, what we're watching out for in XDC after we had our massive pump all the way up into January 15th, we're consolidating down again, kind of like what happened here after a pump. We consolidated to the moving averages, had our next leg to the upside. That could be what we're doing here again in XDC. We can update the moving averages here from yesterday because they are trending pretty quickly up. And the moving averages are what you want to hold to remain short-term bullish. And on the next major pump, 20 cents would be the area that you're looking at to pump up to. And on the correction to the downside, the moving averages would be a logical spot to have a nice bounce off of and have some major support. ZIL still got heavily rejected. Continue to go down to some of these other coins that we want. DGB continues to correct down ever since it got rejected off that 2 1/4 cents beautifully right here. It's been a major upper resistance zone. And when my buddy that I believe has about 800,000 coins was asking about that, we were showing the correction and the moving averages are what you want to hold. And we have traded all the way down to the 200-day moving average in the daily time frame down there at about just over 1 cent, which is from the big pump top to the regional low of 53% correction. But now would be a spot you would expect between the 0.010 and the the 00837, some kind of major return rally now, because there should be a lot of buyers between the 200-day moving average where you're on now or down to this red horizontal line down there. So I would expect a pretty nice return rally after a 50% sell off sometime soon. And then quant, we got the old quant still trying to hold this support on the 100-day moving average in blue. And if we can pump up and get back above the $1.21, your next major upside target is $274, where there's major overhead resistance. The downside target would be the bottom part of this red trading zone at 89.42 cents. IOTA continues to try to also break above this 36 cents, and it's in a very similar thing as quant, just at a different price level. And if we can break above this resistance area, your next major pump to overhead resistance is $1.20. But in IOTA, if we get rejected and trade down and sideways to the moving averages, you would look at the 200-day moving average would be a major underneath support level at about 22 cents. VELO is in this rising wedge. And we did have a 50% correction in VELO over the last couple of days from back here as it attempted to break out. We did come down 45%, excuse me, and now we're attempting to break out again. And for this time, maybe and hopefully for the holders in it, breached the two just about the 3 cent level as we initially got rejected off the 200-day and the major upper resistance in this rising wedge. And if we break out of the rising wedge, your major overhead resistance would be, I can't believe we don't have a price label up there. Your next major pump zone would be all the way up here at about the 8 cents. And if we zoom out to the daily time frame in VELO, give this time to load up, give the chart time to load up. There it is. You can see what a rising wedge is you got a big open mouth with uptrending lower support, uptrending, and then it forms a duck's beak. So you're wide at the base, you're wide where you enter the pattern, and then you get very narrow and tight as the pattern has to decide to break up or down. But you have that uptrending lower support, and you got the uptrending upper resistance, uptrending resistance. And if you break out, we did have one up there, it was just too far in front of it. Your next major resistance level would be at about 8 cents, and we'll make that green right here. Make that green, and then we're gonna make this blue, and we're gonna make that a lighter blue. That's hard to see. And then we're going to make that a lighter blue up there. That would be your second upper resistance if you breach the 8 cents. If you get rejected again at this upper resistance of the rising wedge, you would likely come back down at some point to the 200-day or maybe even on this uptrending support level and retap that again before you attempt to make a breakout. DIA, you can see we got two distinct patterns here. You could be looking at a head and shoulders topping reversal short-term pattern here, which a targeted move would get you. You can see you got the left shoulder right here, the right shoulder or the head right there, and the right shoulder and the neckline that's right down there, meeting beautifully with the bottom part of that orange trading zone. The upper resistance was 90 cents. On a technical target, if this was a short-term reversal pattern and the head and shoulders, you would come down to 38 cents. Or if this is some kind of modified bull flag after the pump, and this is your flagpole with the sort of rising descending wedge, which if it was a descending wedge, the probabilities would say you would break out. The breakout target is actually all the way up there at $3.19. So we got to wait and see which way this pattern plays out. Is it going to be the head and shoulders topping reversal down to the 38 cents, or is it going to be a descending wedge bull flag and break out way up to the upside? LCX, let the chart load up, is the same thing. You got up into a major resistance area, but now you're forming a descending wedge, which would be a bull flag. And on the breakout, you see that a descending wedge is the opposite of a rising wedge, where it's wider at the beginning and gets narrower at the bottom. You could even say it's a channel. In any case, it would be a bull flag. Get that back on there. In any case, it would be a bull flag. And on a bull flag, breakout would be $1.06. If you break down out of the bull flag, you would likely come, let's move this over. Come on, get that over so we can get it. On a breakdown, where you would be at would be your underneath major support level, which would be down here at about 14 cents. And we'll make that a greenish color just so we can see it. And those are your two areas. If you break down out of the bull flag, you come down to 14 cents, but if you break up, you could come all the way up to $1.06. Bonk. I feel like there's going to be some kind of a massive move in bonk as we have a big, uh, maybe bull flag consolidation where you would come up to point a bunch of zeros, 9878, which would be a 200% move from where you're at now. So that's something that I'm very interested in, and I'm going to continue to watch that over the next couple of days. And then if we look at the Bitcoin dominance, because that's very important. Bitcoin dominance is attempting to break above now the 58.69%. And if it does break above that, you do know the higher Bitcoin dominance goes, the altcoins like to have sell-offs. And if we look at some of the news, big players bet big on XRP Solana with excitement around Donald J. Trump's presidency. Here are the figures. The return of Donald Trump's presidency with the digital assets have a historic influx of funds into crypto markets with total assets under management at a new all-time high. According to data from CoinShare, crypto asset investment fund witnessed inflows of 2.2 billion last week, the largest inflow so far this year. Notably, this marks an increase of about 4,480% from the 48 million in net inflows that the fund received in the previous week. So major funds coming into euphoric drove total accumulation in crypto funds to 171 billion. Unsurprisingly, Bitcoin was the standout performer. Bitcoin saw 1.9 billion in net inflows, bringing the year to date to 2.7. Bitcoin also saw outflows of only zero point 0.5 million from shorts. Big players in XRP and Solana. XRP continues to garner significant attention regarding 31 million in inflows last week alone since mid-December 2024. XRP has accumulated an impressive 484 million in total inflows. The run of inflows shows that XRP is having a growing appeal among institutional investors, which is relied through its price action over the past few months, rising to nearly a new all-time high at $3.40. Solana witnessed 2.3 million in inflows. XRP whales keep loading up their bags. 100 million XRP accumulated in 48 hours. Uh, XRP whale Binance deposits skyrocket. Key holders preparing for profit taking? Question mark. That's something that we'll continue to pay attention to there. Like, subscribe, and share to Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing, my beautiful, lovely, growing audience. Peace and love.